The world right under our feet is an incredibly complex place. It's a whole universe, just bursting with life. It's a busy stage where tons of things are happening every single second. For plants, the soil is where it all begins. It gives their roots a place to hold on. And the nutrients they need to grow, reaching for the sun, making fruits and flowers. Nutrients are just chemical elements, and plants soak them up through a huge network of roots. We often talk about the big ones: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but there are other elements too. Secondary nutrients, micronutrients. These elements dance together in a delicate way, often without us even seeing it. Plants need a balanced diet. How much of each nutrient, and when they get it, is super important. Here's a key idea: antagonism. Think of it like a competition. When there's too much of one thing, it can stop another from being absorbed. In the tricky world of plant nutrition, some classic rivalries pop up. These are well-known cases of antagonism. One of the most common examples involves potassium and magnesium. Potassium is super important for how plants handle water and fight off diseases. But when the soil has too much potassium, often from using too much fertilizer, plants can have a hard time getting enough magnesium. Magnesium is the central atom in chlorophyll. That's the stuff that captures sunlight for photosynthesis. Without enough magnesium, plants can't make food very well, even if they're sitting in the sun. Leaves might turn yellow, a clear sign of this hidden fight. Another rivalry happens between iron and manganese. If there's too much manganese, it can cause iron deficiency, especially in young leaves that turn pale yellow with green veins. This is common in citrus trees or soybean plants. Zinc and copper are also chemical cousins, and they easily compete when there's too much zinc, leading to copper deficiency. Slow growth, deformed young leaves, and just not looking very healthy. The list goes on. High phosphorus can block zinc, iron, and copper. Too much calcium can get in the way of magnesium and potassium. The soil is a dynamic system where balance is everything. The way antagonism works is both fascinating and complicated, happening right at the most basic level of how roots and soil interact. Roots have special transporters. Since some elements are similar in size and charge, they might try to use the same doorway. When potassium levels are too high, it floods these absorption spots, making it hard for magnesium to latch on and get pushed away. The soil's pH decides what chemical form nutrients take and how easily they dissolve, which then affects how well plants can absorb them. At high pH, iron easily gets locked up in a form that won't dissolve. Even if there's plenty of it, the plant can't get it. Too much manganese or zinc can then compete for the little bit of soluble iron that's left. High phosphorus can make zinc turn into zinc phosphate. It's still in the soil, but it's locked up, so roots can't use it. Antagonism continues even after absorption. Too much of one element can stop another from moving around or working properly inside the plant's tissues. It's not just about getting past the roots, it's also about what happens inside. Whether the nutrients actually make it to the leaves, flowers, and fruits where they're needed most. This silent chemical battle really shows how amazingly complex plant life is. Plants are amazing communicators. Even though they can't talk, their leaves, stems, and fruits give clear signals about their inner health. Signs of nutrient antagonism are written all over the plant. Learning to read this language is a super important skill. One common sign is yellowing leaves, which happens because of a lack of chlorophyll. The pattern of the yellowing gives us a big clue. When too much potassium causes magnesium deficiency, the yellowing starts at the edges of older leaves and moves inward, sometimes making V-shapes or a cobblestone pattern with green veins. Tomato plants are prone to blossom end rot, a symptom caused by a lack of calcium in the fruit, rarely because the soil actually lacks calcium. It's usually an absorption and transport problem due to antagonism. Potassium and ammonium nitrogen compete with calcium, leaving the fruit short on calcium even if the soil is rich in it. In vineyards, too much manganese from acidic soil causes iron deficiency. Young leaves turn creamy yellow, but their veins stay dark green. This leads to less photosynthesis, which means lower grape quality and yield. In corn, Zinc deficiency is often caused by high phosphorus in standard fertilizer mixes. The symptom: pale white or yellow stripes along both sides of the midrib on young leaves, a clear signal that phosphorus is locking up zinc, leading to stunted growth and lower yields. To stop antagonism, you first have to understand your soil and your plants. Guessing can backfire. Adding more can actually make things worse. The first step is to test. Scientific analysis gives you exact information to make smart choices. The process involves two main methods: soil analysis and leaf analysis. Each one is a piece of the puzzle. Soil tests tell you nutrient levels and pH, helping you find surpluses that cause antagonism, like too much potassium or phosphorus. Leaf analysis shows what the plant is actually absorbing. This is a big difference that helps you tell if a deficiency is from being locked up versus truly missing from the soil. If the soil report says very high K and the leaf report says low Mg, an antagonistic relationship is pretty much confirmed. Fertilizing needs to be based on facts, not feelings. This data-driven approach lets you switch from just feeding the soil to precisely feeding the plant. Act early to predict and fix imbalances so that the unseen symphony can play in harmony. The health of the leaves, the sweetness of the fruit, it all starts with that invisible dance of elements in the soil. Make sure your plants get the balanced nutrition they need to thrive. Once you find an imbalance, or even better before it happens, fertilize responsibly based on your soil and leaf tests. Avoid the more is better mindset. If your potassium levels are already high, choose fertilizers with less K to avoid causing magnesium or calcium deficiencies. Use custom mixes or single nutrient products to have precise control. Managing pH is key. Soil that's too acidic locks up nutrients and increases toxins. Soil that's too alkaline makes micronutrients like iron and manganese insoluble. Use lime to raise acidic pH and sulfur or acidifying fertilizers to lower alkaline pH. Improving soil structure and organic matter helps buffer, slowly hold and release nutrients. This is called chelation, reducing the risk of flooding the soil and causing antagonism. Living soil rich in microbes is more balanced and resilient. For severe deficiencies, you can use foliar sprays, like iron chelate, to bypass blockages at the roots. This treats the symptoms while you fix the soil long-term. Commit to monitoring. Nutrients, pH, and organic matter change with seasons, weathering, and fertilizing. Test your soil every 1-3 years and leaf tissue annually for key crops. The loop of test, interpret, and act is the foundation of sustainable farming. The secret isn't in strength but in balance.